What's up, everybody? It's Ken. I just wanted to make a quick video on how to use Asana.com, and that's www.asana.com. Basically, if you're wanting to run a successful business, you have to be able to connect with people. And to connect with people, you have to be able to have a follow-up system. Because a lot of times, once you ask someone to join one of your groups, learn about a product, things like that, they're going to learn about the products, but then they're just not ready. So you're going to have an electronic way to follow up with them, or else you're going to lose them. So basically, I wanted to make this quick video on how to use Asana. Asana is a free program, and once you go to asana.com, this main screen is right here. The only thing you have to do is type in an email address. You can use your personal email address, and just click Get Started for free. Now, when you do that, it's going to ask you to create a business email. Do not do that. Just click right below and say Continue on with your own. Right after that, it will tell you that you had to verify your email address. So go into the email address you're using and just verify that it is you, and then you just have to put in your name and create a password. So once you create a password, let me stop this share. Once you create a password, you are going to actually be able to, let me find what's going on here. So you actually start logging into Asana, and it's going to show you a little video, and then it's going to want you to do something else, but I forgot what it is. Continue with your own password, watch the video, continue on, and then just complete your profile. This is where we are right now. So here it is. You can put in your full name. There's the email address I'm using for this one, and you can add a photo. If you don't want to add a photo, just hit continue. And then what should we call your team name? I just named it Beachbody. It doesn't really matter what you name it here. Beachbody 2, because I already have an Asana account on another email address. So I'm just going to continue it on. Who's on your team? I don't have anybody on my team, so I'm going to continue. So here we are. We're in the first actual spot that we need to. So here is my project called Beachbody 2. If I go down here, I didn't create a project yet. So next, I want to create a project. So this is where you can create different projects. I'm going to just say Beachbody 2 down here also. And we want to work, organize, public to my company, private to me. So we're just going to say create private to me, and then create project. So now we have a project in our system. Now this is where we can start adding people. So how do you add people to your contact list? Or this is not your contact list. How do you, your follow-up list? Basically, you could do it face-to-face. Obviously, as you know tons of people in your life. You know your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, all your high school friends, your grade school friends, all of them. So you know all these people. So since you're going to be on a health and fitness journey, you're going to be sharing what you're doing online, and they're going to be seeing this. So you have to go to them and say, hey, would you like to join me? Would you like to learn more about this? Would you like to see a video on it? And as you start doing that to people, you just decide who you want to contact that day. As soon as people talk back, that's when they go into Asana. So if I had to add my mom in here, I would just put my mom's name, and there she is. Now she just popped up. Now she's in the follow-up system. Now I'm going to assign her to me, and then I'm actually going to put a due date. So if I'm having a good conversation with someone, and say I said, Mom, do you want to learn about Shakeology? I said, Mom, if I sent you a video on Shakeology, would you watch it? My mom says yes. So then I'm going to actually send the video out to her, and I'm going to do a follow-up. So normally if I'm sending a video out or I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm just trying to get to know them, I'm only going to follow up in 2 to 3 days. So there is, I would just put Thursday. And that's it. Every single person that you start building a relationship with, or you're sending third-party tools to, you can actually add right in here. And as you add more and more people, you just hit add tasks, and then you put the next person in, say like Kay Roberts or something. And then you go over here and you put an assigned follow-up and a due date. So that's it. That's all we use this for. let me go over to, I'm going to actually stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to show you how we do this on a regular basis. So let me get into my real Asana account that we use every single day to find out who we're going to follow up with. So just give me a second here, and I'm going to log out of this account that I just showed you how to set up and log into our other one, w.asana.com. So the one thing is that when you put someone in follow-up, it's always, people ask, when do you set the follow-ups for? Well, if you're having a good conversation, you just do it 2 or 3 days out. Once you get them all the information that they need, then it's up to them. Do they want to join you? Do they want to buy a product? Do they want to buy a challenge pack? Do they want to join your My Challenge Tracker? Or is it just not the right time for them now? So if it's not the right time, maybe I'll say, hey, you know what? I know it's not the right time for you right now, but can I follow up with you in 3 or 4 weeks to see if it's the right time for you? And if they say yeah, and then we would set that follow-up date for a month out. So now I have our regular page up here. So here is our regular Asana page. So I just logged in for the first time today. So now I created different projects over here. I don't really think it's necessary. We created like page follow-ups, my follow-ups on my personal page, Trainees follow-ups. But the thing is, when you hit team calendar right here, and then hit today. Okay, so here's today. So this is what we look at when we're about ready to follow up. So if you look on today, we have 42, 43, 44, 45, 46 people that we need to follow up with. When I click on it, we have different email addresses tied here. If it's a blue circle, that means that I'm gonna have to follow up on my personal page. If it's a picture of both of us, that means I have to follow up on our like page. And if it's a green circle, that means Trainee's gotta follow up. So all these people right here are hot prospects. These are people that we have current conversations going on with. Basically, I say if they're scheduled out in the next 3 or 4 days, those are hot topics. All these people down here, followed, in 3-4 weeks, these people are not hot prospects because maybe we're just following up with them. Kara Francis, she's just someone that wanted to go to the gym. So I said, hey, you know what, let me follow up with you in 4 weeks so I can find out if you're having success at the gym. So in 4 weeks, I would go back and say, hey, Kara, how's the gym going? So here is our follow-up system. Basically, I'm just going to go ahead and click on here, and it says Brittany Daniel Williams. And I know that I have to follow up with Brittany on our like page. So now I'm going to go over and click into our like page, and I can actually search for Brittany in the messages if my Facebook speeds up. So here I'm just going to search for Brittany in my like page, and I forgot what her name was. Brittany Danielle Williams, there she is. So I can go back and read, because Facebook keeps track of our conversations, so I can go back and read what we've talked about so far and what the last question was. So she's in one of our groups. So it looks like I would just follow up to ask her how she's liking our group. And then we just go from there. We start the conversation back up. So after I would follow up with Brittany, I'd go back into Asana, and I'd go here, and I'd set the follow-up date based on what I think. If it's a hot conversation, 2 or 3 days out. If we've stalled, things like that, we would set it further out. So the next question is what happens if people don't respond? So I went to Christine, and I looked over here, and I had asked her a question, and she never responded. Guys, this happens all the time. People are in line at the checkout stand, they're driving, they look at their phone, they see that they messaged you, but they forgot to. So I would just send her another follow-up saying, hey, you know what, I sent you that video, did you get a chance to watch it? So I followed up again. Then I would set the follow-up for 2 to 3 days. The third time they don't respond back, we will do something called bless and release. Basically, we say, hey, it doesn't look like right now is a good time for you, or you're not seeing our messages. If you ever want help with your health and fitness, we're here to support you, answer your questions, or get you started with what you need. And then I hope you're having a good day. A lot of times that third response back, they'll come back and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I've been so busy. And you can start the conversation back up. But if they don't respond, after I send that so it doesn't look like it's a good time for you right now, I would just go into Asana, hover over here, and just click off on the X. And if I click that X, then they're not in my follow-up system anymore. I don't want to keep bugging people if they're not going to respond back to me. So that's how it works. Now, there's a couple different things that I want to teach you. So if they are a personal page person, so that's a bad example because there are no tags in there. So here's a personal page, and right here you can create tags. So mine has been in our Food Prep 101 group. So we can create a tag, and then any third-party tool that we send out to these people or any groups that they join us in, free groups, we're going to make a tag for them. So if, say, we send them the 21-day fix information and they get all the information and they say, hey, you know what, right now is not a good time for me, but maybe later on in the future, you can go back and you can actually search these tags and find out every single person that joined the Food Prep 101 group. So if I needed to see who, like maybe we created a Food Prep 102, I can go back and see everybody that was in Food Prep 101, so I can invite them to 102. I don't put any notes in here really. The only thing we're doing with Asana is adding the people in, telling us where we follow up with them, and then putting a follow-up date. So this is just a system to keep track, because Facebook is going to keep track of our whole conversation and everything else. If you're running a like page, which is a personal business page, you can also put tags and labels over in your like page messages. So we'll do them over here and instead of Asana, because they're easier to keep track of. So basically, that is the nuts and bolts of Asana. And if you sit down, if you start doing this and you sit down and you look at your calendar and you don't have anybody to follow up with scheduled, that means that you are not connecting with enough people. You have to start talking to more people and getting them added in here. So our main goal is that in 3 or 4 days, we want 100 or more people to follow up with, because some of them, like I said, they're going to stop responding. Some of them are going to join us, and then some of them are going to be follow-ups for a later time. It's just not their time right now, and we got to expect that. So when we don't have enough people, that's when we're going to go out and find some. Either look through your friends list, your contact list, find someone, and try to drum up conversations. Or if you're running other things like groups, you can run a free group or you can do a free giveaway. And once people come to you for that stuff, guess what? Now you can contact them. You can have the conversation with them and they'll go in here. So if don't have a lot of people within 3 or 4 days, you're not going to be successful. You want to always be adding more people in here, having conversations with them, finding out what their goals are, sending them third-party tools for them to learn about our products, our groups, our coaching, things like that, and they can decide if it's right for them or not. But this is it. It's easy. I think that this is the #1 thing, because if you aren't connecting with people and talking to people, then you're not learning yourself, and you're not going to be successful in the business. So if you have any questions at all, let me know. But I hope this made sense, and I hope that everybody starts up an Asana account today or another electronic follow-up system. Bye.